Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals, and today I have got game number 1 of a best of 1. It's some Protoss versus Zerg gonna be coming up, and it's by two people who certainly know each other and are certainly, or at least should be, very well known to you at home. And in the top left position of Whirlwind, we do have the red Protoss player, the Grandpa Toss himself. It is WhiteRa. And his opponent, down in the bottom right, from Team Liquid, the blue Zerg, Liquid TLO. So, this game should be fantastic. I'm really excited to see how it's going to go down. I haven't cast a ZVP for a while. I've actually had a bit of a castathon because I have no idea when this game is going to come out. It could be up to like a week after I've done it. Basically because I'm casting WCS EU Challenger, or have been whenever I release this game. It just means, quite simply, that I don't know how much time I'm going to have to cast my YouTube. So I've just sat down after WCS EU Premier finished, and for the past 6 hours I've been casting. And I've surprisingly hit that point where I've still got tons of energy, so it's pretty good. This is probably going to be the last game I'll do though, because I'll now have 8 days worth of casts to go up. Because of course my daily cast schedule, while great for you the viewers, is pretty intense for me. So yeah, if you do like daily StarCraft casts, you should definitely hit that sub button, because if you subscribe, hopefully you'll never miss one. And of course I'll get all the dirty ad revenue, or something like that. It's not as great as it sounds, I can assure you all. I do this because I like the game, not to become a millionaire. Now anyway, probe is coming down through here. Forge Fast Expand from WhiteRa, and it is a Forge First. That means cannon rushes you have to be a little bit cautious of. And especially since the second probe is pulled, it does suggest that WhiteRa is possibly looking for one of those. What's he going to be doing with this probe? Yep, around the back. TLO though, did he see it? TLO, ho ho. Yep, he sees the probe, knows what's coming, and yep, sees immediately the pylon. TLO is going to be like, are you really doing this? A third pylon will need to be going down to guarantee this. Okay, this is now very, very difficult for TLO to stop. He's going to have to cancel that, so that's why he's immediately pulling this drone. He's like, okay, this base is dead. But if you ever get cannon rushed on ladder, play it safe like this. Just accept that this base is going to die. That's all you've got to do. Just say, okay, it's dead. I'll take my third. Keep this one here as a distraction until the last second. Cancel it. Carry on as if nothing happened. Because, remember, it's a big investment to a Protoss player to get these two cannons down, plus that pylon. Like, already, of course, WhiteRa's lost 50 minerals by the double cancel, and he spent another 100 on the pylon, 150, plus an extra 300 on the two cannons. That's 450 minerals. Cancelling that costs you 75. And TLO, wow, he's even going up for a super quick third in another position, so he's taking the fourth base exceptionally fast. Wow, brave move there by TLO, but knowing that probably WhiteRa really far behind in terms of his own timings. Like, the gateway is only coming down in 4 minutes, so very late. But this probe has spotted it. The Zerglings are going to have their work cut out. The probe drone trying to make sure that nothing bad happens, but this is now just saying to WhiteRa, okay, I know what's happening. He hasn't scouted this base though. And the Zerglings just going to make sure nothing too bad happens. 3 of them going across the map though, going to try and put some pressure on, and no cannon is down as of yet. The cannon, of course, not being down allows those Zerglings just to walk straight in towards the natural base. That could be fairly huge, and yep, up come the Zerglings. Bouncy, 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 bounce. They're making their way up. Still no cannon. WhiteRa, what have you done? You've forgotten a cannon. 3 Zerglings may not be devastating, but they're certainly going to be a little bit irritating. The odd probe or 2 will die, 1 already down. And this is just so annoying for WhiteRa. He's going to be kicking himself that he didn't have that cannon. Of course, only 1 cannon remaining here at the natural base, so he did save some of the resources that he otherwise would have lost. But yep, probes are taking some damage. We can see that TLO just going to try and kill as many as he can, any that he can. Still no cannon. The Cybercore is coming down. It's a brave move because, honestly, if TLO had followed this up with, say, just a flood of Zerglings, WhiteRa would be dead right now. So WhiteRa just playing a bit of a brave game, saying, well, this is TLO. He's probably trying to drone as much as he can. So brave move, another probe could get taken out there, but doesn't. It's able to sneak past because really those Zerglings just running around. But 3 bases are now up. No sign yet of a roach run or anything along those lines, which would be a good way to deal with a cannon sitting at the natural. But frankly, that natural base doesn't have to be rushed to get secured. Another probe goes down. TLO now having killed 2. May not seem like the end of the world, but 2 probes is 2 more than WhiteRa would have wanted to have lost, and now means that TLO has caught up. It's also keeping a lot of WhiteRa's attention on dealing with those Zerglings up until this point, which means that he's been distracted from other things that he may be wanting to do, and any sort of distraction you can add in will make bumps in your opponent's build. just full stop. And as long as you're not distracting yourself more or losing more yourself to really overcompensate for those bumps that your opponent's getting, it's always going to be good to do. So we see here now WhiteRa adding on 2 additional gateways, not 3. That means it's not delayed 4 gate, and it's probably going to result in a tech structure likely getting... Oh no, there we go, 4th gateway coming down, so that's fine. Forget what I said. I did not just say it was going to be a tech structure, but it was just because the minerals were a bit low. No biggie. Anyway, we do see Baning Nest for TLO. Interestingly, getting the Baning Nest up against Protoss. Usually you'll see that against Terran often, but a Roach run a lot sooner against Protoss. So what has TLO got planned? Well, he's only got to deal with 2 Zealots and a Sentry. That ain't too scary. Creep tumors, of course, being flooded down. In terms of Zerglings, there's only 1 on the field. TLO does need more than 1 Ling to deal with 2 Zealots and a Sentry. That's for sure. The Sentry can also try and get a good force field down to really close up the distance and allow the Queen to get killed. But yeah, straight away, 16 Lings getting started. The Hatchery isn't threatened, so the big thing is just that this army is just allowed to go through. The Sentry gonna get focused by the drones even. TLO using your workers to kill stuff. Bad man. But yeah, Zerglings coming in. We see, of course, the 2 Zealots going to be a bit of a stressful thing to deal with. Speed about to kick in, 22 more Lings about to pop out, and yeah, even Zealots can't deal with 22 Lings on their own, especially with the Queen support there. The Queen's going to try and pick off the Mothership Core. If they get that, that'll be a nice little snipe. Are chasing it down, but the Mothership Core is going to get away. No, WhiteRa, you need to keep running it, but doesn't, just sniping down right at the edge before it could have escaped. But a big warping of Zealots now coming down from this pylon at the natural base of Proxy Pylon, also put down, but can be seen by TLO up here. So that's an important thing to know, because once that starts coming through, that's when it could get tough. A lot of Banelings getting morphed. These Creep Tumors are trying to come down to join up the bases. The Zerglings coming up behind. They know the Banelings are about to finish, and we're about to see explosions. And explosions are always good to see. The Banelings getting the connections that they need. They need to be killing off all of these Zealots as quickly as they can. The Zealots running away, but of course that means they take some damage. Big warping of sentries trying to close this down. TLO, he's just got to play this cool and collected. The cannon is also a bit of a threat. The Banelings don't want to be engaging by the cannon. The force fields, of course, can zone out the Banelings too. Back at home, more gateways being added on, have been added on rather, by WhiteRa. He's setting up at 6 gates. This is pretty much an all-in, but he doesn't have +1, which makes it a bit more difficult. Spines coming down, more Zerglings coming out. If TLO just had a Roach Warren, he would be so happy right now. Roaches would make this so much easier to defend, but currently he's having to get down some more spines. He's not that far ahead in terms of the worker count, but he is still ahead. He's got this third base up. This pylon being a right nuisance, and again, that could be taken out if there were roaches. The Zealots would be less effective than the roaches, and it's one of the reasons most Zerg players will get roaches. The sentries take a hit from the Banelings. That means that a couple more of them are going to get taken down. The force fields, of course, preventing reinforcements is going to be very frustrating, but there comes a big flood. All of these units surrounding, no Mothership Core. The Banelings do get some connections, and of course the Zealots, the sentries all getting taken out, and TLO again just needs to be cautious because the cannon does a surprising amount of damage. Sitting there, it's got 8 kills already, dealing a good amount. 2 drones a bit lost, probably wanted to become spines, but not worrying about it. Good surround again by TLO, trapping these units out of position, and he could now, as long as he's bringing some of these units around the back, start trying to pick off these sentries. Quick little warp in of more Zealots means that TLO forced back. The AI getting a bit bugged out by that force field there, which is unfortunate, means that these Zerglings will die, but a few more Banelings morphing in the lair, nearly finished. The Spine Crawler coming down, and I just cannot emphasize enough how much easier this would be for TLO if he just had a couple of roaches. These Banelings are not being that effective. TLO, he is still trading cost effectively just because he's trapping these units out of position, but my goodness, it's not the easiest thing. He's going to be going up to Hydras though. That will make it a bit more comfortable. Banelings detonate on the Zealots, help clean them out. The Spine Crawler coming down, ready to deal with that pylon at long last, and of course the sentries are going to get surrounded. 3 of them get taken out. And, well, they are getting taken out. The force fields won't save them. And, of course, the Spine nearly done. Going to help with these Zealots that are coming through. The Zerglings going to trade, aiding it as well. 28 more Lings on their way. Of course, TLO just trying to buy more time to get the Hydralisks out. He's got a decent amount of money. Just getting more and more and more Zerglings, more Banelings. And WhiteRa just flooding as units as quickly as he can. He does have a Stargate, double Stargate rather, now finished, but hasn't produced anything from it yet. And that's a bit of a mismatch in his build. He would like to try and get something there, but the Zealots, of course, moving up. The Banelings are connecting, take out 3 of those Zealots pretty quick. Yes, the force field comes down, preventing the reinforcements, but that also signals the sentry's death. Hydras trying to get produced fairly quickly. And of course, TLO, he's still sitting at 55 drones, so he's got a decent economy. 2 Spine Crawlers either being made or being wandered down, they're being walked down, ready just to try and help this. And TLO even running some Zerglings forward, so clearly feeling quite confident with the Hydralisks that are about to hit the field, that he's got a bit of a chance. Oh, got to be careful, one of those Spines very low on health. A couple of Stalkers coming through. And TLO, he's just really checking that there's no third there, and I think that's a good move. The Hydras are going to try and help zone some of this out with the spines there. Shouldn't have too much trouble doing it. Need to make sure the Hydras stay alive though, because you need something to tank for them. They're very, very fragile. TLO now confirming there's no third base with these Lings is just going to start doing as much damage as possible. Morphing in an Overseer just in case of DTs, but the Hydra count now getting pretty darn high. That pylon needs to get focused down fairly quick, and yeah, TLO is definitely in a good spot at the moment. He can even look to go and take his fourth at his natural base fairly soon. Instead getting a macro hatch up because he couldn't get it earlier, but wouldn't be surprised to see that very, very quickly. The Spire also coming down, so this is just going to allow for some Corruptors to come out, and also just some Mutalisks if he wants them, depending on whether he sees Colossus or Void Rays. Of course, Void Rays are what are coming down from WhiteRa at the moment, but things for TLO looking fairly good. He's getting down Hydra speed, which suggests that he's going to be quite aggressive. Is now taking this fourth base up at his natural, and things are going to be very tough now for WhiteRa, who's only just trying to secure his third. These Zerglings do see it, but choose not to attack. Instead, just going to come up. Will they spot the Void Ray? That could be big. Yes, they saw it for a brief second. They see it definitely there. Good scout out. See the robotics facility only just being made. Corruptors getting started. Interesting choice up against the Void Rays, because of course Void Rays deal bonus damage to armored, especially with prismatic alignment, and of course Corruptors are armored, so not a good choice to deal with them. But perhaps TLO worried about double Colossus production, but he should know with this third still not down, after such a big investment, that there's just no way WhiteRa could afford both Void Rays and Colossus at the time being. So TLO just playing it a bit safe. He could have potentially been a bit more risky, but he is getting ready to move up on in. These Void Rays are a bit caught out of position. There's enough energy on that mothership core. The cannon's not quite done yet, and of course that means the Hydras can start punching through them. The Zerglings as well doing good jobs against those cannons, and of course suddenly TLO looking to be in a very, very solid spot, bringing the Overseers as well just in case of DTs, because if behind Dark Shrine, we all know it. And yeah, a couple of Void Rays going down for a few Zerglings and a couple of Hydras. Definitely a good trade for TLO there, who's losing about 3,000 less resources than that of WhiteRa. Very nicely done. Of course, this third base is going to be a massive target for the Zerg. The Corruptors moving forward, and they're playing a very dangerous game up against these Void Rays. Are going to get some Corruptors on them, but with only 2 Void Rays, only a single, maybe 2 Corruptors will go down, but the important thing is all of the Void Rays now dead, and this is allowing these Zerglings and Hydras to start moving up. Contamination comes down on the Nexus, preventing probe production, but the Hydra's going to try and really work that through. A couple of Zealots warping in will get taken out very, very quickly. Changelings being used as well to act as a bit of a wall to mess up AI, and yeah, the Nexus falls. This is probably now GG. It's a 4 base Zerg up against just a 2 base Protoss, who's pretty much mined out in his main. Very good position for TLO to be in at the moment, and he doesn't even have to rush it at this stage. That's the nicest thing for him, because he knows he's got the contain. Well, Colossus can't save him because there's Corruptors out. But the Void Rays, they can try and focus those down, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing. But the Void Rays moving a bit too far forward, get sniped down, and with that, the Hydra's just slowly working away at everything. They could even focus that down, but they don't need to. GG comes down from WhiteRa, and TLO was victorious. So that cannon rush for WhiteRa unfortunately backfiring, because TLO took the risk of taking his 3rd and 4th base simultaneously to still get up a base advantage. So congratulations to TLO. Of course, if you did enjoy, make sure that you like the video, leave a cool comment, and subscribe. As I said, daily videos come out, so subscribing is the best way to get a whole ton of awesome StarCraft action. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm Madals, and bye for now.